Probably one of the biggest upsets of this year. 15-1 underdog Jezreel Corrales knocks out Takashi Uchiyama in the second round for Uchiyama's WBA Super Featherweight title. Dropped him 3 times in the second round after winning the first round. Takashi Uchiyama, a lot of people that have seen him before, you know that he's a little bit of a slow starter. He likes to, take the first round to um, figure you out, to get the timing down. Jezreel Corrales wasn't giving him that time. Jezreel Corrales came at him full force with everything. This was Forrest Mayorga type shit, where he was coming at him with power shots upon power shots and looking to do real damage to Uchiyama, make an impression on him as soon as the opening bell rang. Jezreel Corrales came into this fight 19-1. Takashi Uchiyama came into this fight 24-0-1. And of course now Jezreel Corrales advances to 20-1 with 8 knockouts, and Takashi Uchiyama falls to 24-1-1 with 20 knockouts. Uchiyama was a heavy favorite in this fight, as I mentioned the odds earlier, and he was expected to win this and then go on to possibly fight Javier Fortuna, as was originally planned to do, or Nicholas Walters, is what was hinted at before this fight got made. But man, this was just a stunning upset. A stunning upset. Corrales immediately makes a mark on the 130-pound division, knocking off the number one fighter in the division, the number one fighter for several years now. Takashi Uchiyama's reign goes back all the way to January of 2010, when he knocked out Juan Carlos Salgado. A lot of people may remember Juan Carlos Salgado as being the guy who knocked out Jorge Linares in the first round. The guy that basically completely put a halt to Linares' career, and kind of made for tough times for Linares before he managed to eventually recover, and he's currently a lightweight world champion. A lot of people also know the fact that Uchiyama was able to defeat Takashi Miura years before Francisco Vargas just did last year. That was an 8-round war where Uchiyama was winning, fairly clearly. I mean, close rounds, number of close rounds. Miura dropped Uchiyama, but Uchiyama eventually stopped Miura. Another one of Uchiyama's big wins was over Brian Vasquez, an 8th-round knockout victory over a then undefeated Brian Vasquez, who of course would go on to drop a decision to Javier Fortuna. But I mean, Uchiyama went in there and knocked the man out, just crushed him. But he just got crushed by Jezreel Corrales. Jezreel Corrales, he's a guy who had one of these upside down type records, unknown fighter generally from Panama, a young fighter. He's only 24. So I mean, clearly that one loss, which came only in his second fight of his pro career, was not something to really be looked at seriously. Some guys, they get matched tough early in their career. They may take a L, and then they learn from it and they grow from it immensely. And he certainly has, because in the 7 years, what is that, 6, 7 years since that loss, Corrales, racked off a number of wins, some of them by knockout. His most recent ones have been by knockout, and he just knocked out the number one fighter in the division. Corrales, I mean, in theory, I guess you could place Corrales number one now, but I think most people would probably be hesitant to do that based off of strength of the overall field of opposition. But regardless, what he just did was impressive. Like, he'd have to be probably no lower than number two. Number two or number one. Pretty much take your pick between him and Francisco Vargas for what Vargas did to Takashi Miura, as well as what he's done to the likes of Brandon Bennett and other fighters, other top flight fighters. But Corrales did the damn thing, man, making Roberto Duran proud. And hey, who knows? Maybe we'll see Jezreel Corrales versus Nicholas Walters in the future. I know Walters is largely based in Panama, in spite of the fact that he's from Jamaica. He does most of his training life in Panama. Good basis for him. Great sparring down there, and but otherwise, it's looking like Javier Fortuna has a fight coming up with Jamel Herring. Hopefully, he doesn't get upset as well, and we could see him and Corrales engage in potential fight of the year style fight. Because Corrales, if he's gonna be bringing it like he brought it to Uchiyama, then man, he's gonna be on the radar for boxing fans to watch on TV for a minute. He's gonna be on there for a good little while, and he's definitely gonna get paid majorly, a lot more than he has been before this Uchiyama fight. Man, many props to Jezreel Corrales, proving exactly why these fights are fought. In spite of the fact that he was such a huge underdog going into this fight, an underheralded fringe contender essentially at the time, went in there and demolished the top fighter of the weight class. A guy that a lot of people would have argued that would have beaten, all of the other type fighters. In spite of the fact that Uchiyama was on the older side, there were some people speculating that he was slowing down, and I guess that was the hot topic in Japan as well. I wasn't able to see that news before all this stuff happened, but I mean, just man, amazing stuff. Especially because Corrales actually initially missed weight for this fight, so that may not have even been Jezreel Corrales' final form. It may not have been Corrales at 100% even. So who knows? Maybe he'll move up to lightweight and just take over that division fairly soon. Whatever the case may be, Corrales did the damn thing, proved once again why boxing is like no other sport, and just pulled off an amazing upset. Excellent.